Did you know that pumpkin is actually a fruit? It is, and now you know. The 2018 midterm election is almost here. Hooray! We did it! Almost. And we really already know a lot of things about this coming election. It looks like it will be a very good one for Democrats, with smart, neutral observers predicting that Republicans will lose control of the House majority they won back in 2010. The biggest unknown in the election at this point is Senate control. 2 years ago, the idea that Democrats might even sniff the majority after the 2018 election was about as likely as me dunking a basketball. Yes, it's technically possible, but in reality, a pipe dream. Sidebar, I have dunked a basketball before. One glorious day in the summer of 1994 when I was 18. Now at 6'2", I probably should have been able to dunk more frequently than that one time, sure, but I did it. Also, at my relatively advanced age, I think an attempted dunk now would likely lead to an ER visit. Back to the numbers, which for Democrats in the Senate are really daunting. They are defending 26, yes, 26 seats this November. Republicans, just 9 seats. That means Democrats have 17 more seats on the ballot than Republicans. That's a little something I like to call math. Boom! Where's my Fields Medal? But it's worse than even those raw numbers suggest. Of the 26 Democratic seats on the ballot this fall, 10 of them are in states that Donald Trump won in 2016. And of those 10, half are states Trump won by double digits in the last presidential election, including West Virginia, which he carried by a whopping 42 points, and North Dakota, which he won by 36. Now, an electoral map this tilted toward one party just doesn't come along all that often. Republicans have been looking forward to this Senate map since 2012, which is the last time all of these senators were on the ballot. And yet, here we are, talking without laughing about the possibility that Democrats could pick up the 2 seats they need to retake control of the Senate. But to be clear, if you are a betting person, the safer bet is still that Republicans keep their majority. But there are paths which lead to a Democratic majority too. What paths are these? And what states do they go through? That's where I come in. Let's go through the 5 most likely outcomes of the battle for the Senate majority this November. Scenario number 1, Republican best case. Okay, under this scenario, Republicans lose a GOP seat in Nevada, but hold Tennessee, Texas, and Arizona. Republicans also win Democratic-held seats in Florida, Indiana, Missouri, and North Dakota. You do a little back of the envelope math and you realize that's a 3-seat Republican gain. Let's go into the states. Nevada has always been the most glaring problem for Republicans in this election cycle. Republican Senator Dean Heller is in his first term. Polling suggests he hasn't made all that much of an impression on voters. Plus, he's the only Republican running in a state Hillary Clinton carried in 2016. You take all that, and Republicans would be absolutely overjoyed to lose only Nevada from their side of the ledger on election night. Now, as the election cycle has worn on, the cone of true Republican pickup opportunities has narrowed from those 26 Democratic seats to a far smaller number. At the moment, North Dakota looks to be their best bet, with Senator Heidi Heitkamp struggling to overcome the state's strong conservative tilt. Now, Missouri and Indiana, which are 2 of the other states where Trump won by double digits in 2016, look to be margin of error races at the moment. They could go either way. And in Florida, Governor Rick Scott's heavy personal spending has made Democratic Senator Bill Nelson's political life very, very uncertain. Scenario number 2, Democrats' best case. Now here we have Democrats losing only one incumbent, that's Heitkamp in North Dakota, and pulling off a clean sweep in their 4 GOP pickup opportunities, with Texas and Tennessee looking like the tougher 2 wins. Now if all that comes to pass, it's a 3-seat Democratic gain, and they take the Senate majority with it. But make no mistake, this scenario, even with a defeat in North Dakota, would be something very close to Democrats' wildest dreams come true. Now, Arizona and Nevada are both toss-ups that could go either way. In Tennessee, Democrats recruited the only possible candidate who could win the seat in former Governor Phil Bredesen. And in Texas, Congressman Beto O'Rourke's massive fundraising and the grassroots energy stirred by enthusiasm for his candidacy, and if I'm being honest, Democratic hatred for his opponent, Republican Senator Ted Cruz, has put the state somewhat amazingly in play. The underlying partisanship of both those states, however, means that Democrats would have to be having a very, very good night to sweep both. Scenario number 3, a still great night for Democrats. Okay, Democrats lose Heitkamp in North Dakota, but win GOP seats in Arizona, Nevada, and Tennessee. Again, Heitkamp does feel like a goner or somewhere close to it. And it would be somewhat tough to imagine Tennessee and Texas falling to Democrats. And Tennessee, because of Bredesen, feels like the more likely Democratic pickup to me if you force me into choosing between it and Texas. Still, this scenario would put Democrats in control of the Senate, albeit by a single vote, which would be considered an epic upset given where the expectations game started in this election. Scenario number 4, a wash, no net gain or loss for either side. Okay, Republicans lose their 2 most vulnerable seats in Arizona and Nevada. Democrats lose their 2 most vulnerable seats in North Dakota and Florida. Of all the scenarios, this one feels the most likely to me. Look, Nevada isn't a done deal for Democrats, but the state's demographics and Trump's unpopularity make it tough to hold. Ditto North Dakota on the other side. Rick Scott feels to me like a slight favorite in Florida, and the deep ideological divisions within the Arizona Republican Party play in Democratic Congresswoman Kyrsten Sinema's favor. Scenario number 5, it's a tie! Republicans lose in Arizona, Nevada, and Tennessee, but win Democratic-held seats in Florida and North Dakota. This outcome, which is totally plausible, would make the Senate divided 50-50 between Republicans and Democrats and the 2 independents, Bernie Sanders and Angus King, who caucus with Democrats. Republicans would still hold the upper hand in the chamber because Vice President Mike Pence would be available to break ties. But it would set off a furious attempt to recruit party switchers. Hey, Joe Manchin, you got a minute? Hey, Susan Collins, give me a call. As both parties jockeyed for that 1 seat they would need to seize control. Well, while that last scenario would be one for the history books and would titillate political nerds, yours truly very much included, the most likely outcome in November is Republicans holding on to the Senate majority by the skin of their teeth. But, that we are even talking about the possibility they might not is evidence of just how good the national political environment is for Democrats right now, and why the party out of power is positioned to have a very good night on November 6th. And that is the point. We do this every week, twice. Make sure to check out new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.